What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Bear Show. I'm Ivan Vargas. Well, let's go ahead and switch this up here. Ready for mock number 2 tonight. I'm hoping to have a great, fun night with you guys. Last time was pretty fun. I want to do it the same type of way. If you guys weren't here last time, we kind of did multiple drafts. We took multiple scenarios, traded down multiple times, and then we did, some draft picks that were pretty much straightforward, kind of what you wanted, or what you expect to go. But we did have some fun, and we really enjoyed it last time. But before we get started, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Make sure you become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com. All right, a lot of talk still about Justin Caleb, but I want to get, a little bit deeper into the other picks that we have, number 9 in particular, how we can move number 9 around and see if that can generate some extra draft capital, especially in the second round or closer to having another top 100 pick if you can find the right trade partner. Keys, guys, what is up? How are you? Corn Planter, thank you for joining us. Fit for 30, what is up as well? You guys, like I said, I wanted to be interactive like it was last time. We had a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and get started. We were talking about trading 9 and the value that you can get coming back for it. So let's go ahead and let me bring this up for you real quick. Share screen. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to go ahead and start the draft. And remember, this is just the first one. We're going to go through many rounds and through many different drafts tonight. Hopefully keep it to about an hour, but if we go over, who cares? It's as long as we're having fun. Caleb Williams, number 1. All right, number 9. In this scenario, we got 2 partners, Jacksonville at 17 and Green Bay at 25. I'm looking at Jacksonville being the more realistic right here. I wouldn't want to trade anything with Green Bay, regardless of positioning. So for me, I would say Jacksonville would be our best bet. Let's say 17. I'm looking at 48. And I'll ask him for that 117 just to be aggressive. It looks like we're about even. We throw in 9, 88% chance. Let me see if we could. 15. I could be greedy and take all 3. But let's just say we stick with 117. There we are. Okay, 117. So we got we got 17. Was it 90 something and 117 from Jacksonville to move down. Jacksonville went ahead and grabbed Nate Wiggins, cornerback from Clemson. Byron Murphy the second goes after that. Quinyon Mitchell to Minnesota at 11. Talise Fuaga, tackle at 12 to Denver. Olu Fasanu falls down to 13. Talking about him being a top 10 pick last time we did the draft. J.C. Latham right after him. Jared Verse, pass rusher, Florida State to Indianapolis. Taron Arnold, one of the top cornerbacks, to Seattle, which, to be honest, that sounds like a good fit for Seattle. And here's us, number 17 on the clock. Let's see what you guys think. Oh, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Raymond, appreciate you being here. See, we do have Douglas, thank you for being here as well. See, we do have some happy campers in the chat tonight. Do your mock draft, trading down and getting Marvin Harrison. We will do that. We will, I'm sure we're going to get into that. I've added. Oh, actually, you know what? I didn't. We're gonna go right back. Damn. Actually, we'll just do this one right through. It's the first one. I forgot to set up the 7th round. I think we're only going 3 this one. But next time we'll go 7 rounds. But at 17, who's here? Powers Jackson, 17th rank. I know if that's the case, That's who I'm going to get. That's who I'm going to go get. Going to find my quarterback. Going to find his center. You're going to marry them up, and they'll be together. Hopefully, they'll be together their entire careers with Chicago. But that's the guy I would love the Bears to target if they move on from 9. Um, hell, I mean, I would be a little bit upset. I would think it would be a little bit of a reach if they went and grabbed him at 9, which I don't think they will. I think they'll definitely look to, like I said, maximize as much capital as they can. But if you could find yourself trading with somebody in these teens, in these early to late teens, maybe you can find a sweet spot to go ahead and pick them up right there. And that would make me very, very happy. You find a quarterback, you solidify the middle of your offensive line, and now all you have to do is continue to look for playmakers throughout the rest of the draft on offense, at least. On defense, I feel like, I mean, obviously you still want to find some playmakers, but I would be looking to continue to add pass rushers and defensive tackles. And I get it's not as pretty as you think. You know, it's not as pretty sounding like, oh yeah, we need to go out and add more wide receivers. We need to go add to me, a solid rotation of defensive linemen, the way that Eberflus is talking about having it, and for me, I would say that would be something that we need to be really thinking is a realistic talking point for them, right? Going ahead and adding more rotation, adding more depth on the defensive line, trying to add more depth on the offensive line. We just picked up Powers Jackson at 17. So let's see who we have on the big board now. Jatavian Sanders, tight end. I'll say this. I'm always like, I'll look for a quality tight end, but right now I just feel like tight end isn't like my most pressing need. We got the quarterback, we got the center. I'm thinking about, I'm going to screw up his name. Sandriskel. Was it Sandriskel? Senristel? Anyway, cornerback from Michigan. Looking to add another cornerback. Javon Bullard. I'll have to see more tape on Hicks and Bullard, to be honest with you. I know I would like for the Bears to go after a safety, but I'm not going to go ahead and tell you guys I've watched a lot of Bullard or Hicks play. I've seen a lot of Senristel or whatever the hell you say his last name. We'll call him Mike. Mike from Michigan. So, seeing as I think we're going to have Jalen Johnson coming back, I'll go ahead and pursue one of these safeties, and I'll take Bullard. And here we sit at 75. Let's see who else went. Here we go. Sanders went after that. Then Mike from Michigan, Roman Wilson. Roman Wilson is a guy I really like too. I think the Bears, if they have, if they feel like they like him and he fits their what they want, I think that they should go ahead and take a shot. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good wide receiver. Let's see, Kalen Blaylock, USC, another safety went. So right after I picked Bullard, you get a little bit of a run. A couple picks later on safeties, you got Bullock, you got Hicks. So a mini run, 2. Michael Pratt, Brandon Rice. Brandon Rice was a guy I wanted to. If he was still there at 75, I would have took him. I just like familiarity with the quarterback. So you give him somebody that he's familiar with in college, he's worked with, has a rapport with. Oh, we appreciate it, David. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of stuff. Honestly, most people on YouTube aren't very good. Yeah, well, it is what it is, man. Like, try your best. You try your best, I guess. Like, I don't know. That's all I could do. See, Keys guy. That's why I like the interviews. You just get the asses, his demeanor, his quality, and quality of responses. He's the real deal, and boy, is he competitive and wants to win. I imagine that's about Caleb. I'm Keys guy. I'm a little behind here on the chat. Appreciate you, Nano CBD. All right, let's get back to the draft. It looks like we got caught up. Alex H, I agree. Ivan, year one, it will pay huge dividends. Uh, I appreciate that. I imagine that's about Powers Johnson, Alex, but we'll come to that in a minute. Let's get back to the draft. All right, sitting at 75. I like Fiske, Dolores. Let's see who else do we have? We already got our center, so I don't have to worry about that. Blake Corum. I just think like I like Blake Corum, but I feel like he would just be. I feel like he's kind of too similar to Khalil Herbert. If I'm not just a little bit smaller, I would like a more bigger back, like a like a my God, we just had his name Deontay Foreman. So if you know if push came to shove and the Bears picked him up, I wouldn't be disappointed. I would imagine they'd want to run a lot more with the running backs out of the backfield as far as for passing routes. Uh, they'd probably want to run in between the tackles, but I'm imagining with this offense and with Shane Waldron, the way he throws the ball, that they're gonna want they're gonna want that good mixture in the backfield where they have a bruiser, a type, they have a guy that can do both, and then they have that nat back, that scatter back that can just burn you if he gets into the open field. James Daniel, trade down 9 and take Powers Johnson for sure. It's about Caleb Ivan. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Mock draft is all going with what's available. Yeah, I mean, best available for sure. Joseph, oh, so Dolores is a big edge. Big edge. If you guys chime in, I'm down with it. Like we could talk this through. Dolores, big edge. Let's see. I just want to see his size. Why don't they have his? Okay, here we go. 6'3", 290. He's a big kid. See if we can't find a picture of Dolores. Mulva. We had that joke. It was I forgot who made that joke earlier. I think it might have been Alex H. Somebody made that joke. The Seinfeld reference last week with Dolores. I remember that now. Is that true? Because I like if like we're not going to be spreading any lies over here. If it's true, wow. But I don't know. Maybe my helper could help me on that one. It's true. Oh, you're helping me. That's good. All right. All right. Let's move back. You know what? We'll say this. All right. You want Dolores, big edge. We're gonna. I would like I mentioned before. I like Fiske, but I also like adding some pass rushers to the mix. So let's go ahead and take Brandon Dolores. Dolores. Here we are at pick 111. We pretty much got our needs set quarterback, center, added a defensive lineman. We didn't add a cornerback, but we added a defensive back. Let me see if I can't add something here. Who wants a trade? The Bucks want to trade to 127. Mm, I think I'm good on the trade. How do you guys feel? Who's there at wide receiver? Let's see. Anais Smith, Cornelius Johnson, Malik Washington. We got Marcus Roseme, Jack Saint, Taj Washington, Isaiah Williams, Luke McCaffrey, Casey Washington, and pretty much the rest of the draft here. Anybody feeling Smith? Yeah, I get Stover. Like I hear Stover over and over, but for me, like I said before, I think you could you have something good going with Cole Kmet. Adding is always great, but I don't think tight end is the most pressing need right now. I think we could continue to add uh, other positions, especially since we haven't picked up a wide receiver. I think a wide receiver somewhere in not either this spot or the spot prior would be a good area to take one if it was my draft. Um, yeah, I'm not too other than Bowers. Like I'm not too blown away by tight ends, and it's just something that I don't think the Bears ultimately need to like. I mean, obviously you want to pursue the best players available, but I don't think that's a position of need that's so pressing that the Bears should go for it. I think you could add more help as far as wide receiver and confirm Fields does not follow the Bears on Instagram. So the wheels continue to turn. We keep pushing through this offseason. What does Justin want? What do the Bears want? I again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you choose a camp, but sooner or later you're gonna have to realize that if you want the best for the Bears, allowing Justin to move on and grow is also probably the best thing for him. Um, I don't know how you can come back after having pretty much half the fan base turn against you. You got the other half, pining for you, but it's not really. There's not really much, much to gloat about when it comes to your production and your consistency. So I would just say, from a guy who doesn't hate Justin Fields at all, the best thing for the Bears and the best thing for Justin Fields is that you have a clean break and you get another opportunity elsewhere, whether that be Pittsburgh, whether that be Atlanta, what have you. The best thing to do would be give him the opportunity now rather than trying to force something that I don't believe is going to work out here in Chicago with Justin Fields. Just how I feel. Where's Bratcher? I've been trying to get Bratcher's ass on here for a while now, and he keeps dodging me. Like I gave you permission to DM him, Corn. You could do that all day if you want. Let's get back to this draft. Wide receiver, we'll take. What size is Cornelius Johnson? 6'3", 208. Check Smith out. 5'10". I don't know if I want a smaller receiver right here. I think I'm gonna go after a bigger bodied receiver. 5'8". Yeah, it don't fit what I want. Marcus Romy St. Jean 6'2". All right, well, Taj Washington. Let's see what Taj Washington 5'10". Yeah, I would like a bigger wide receiver. So let's go with Cornelius Johnson. Take Johnson. We're back on the clock. Stover's still there. I'm going to go ahead and appease you, Alex, because you're my boy. Always appreciate you chiming in. Kate Stover. I do it for the fans. Kate Stover in at number 117. All right, now let's have a little bit of fun here. Running backs. Anybody see anybody? Let me slow down with this scrolling. Sorry. We got Braylon Allen, Will Shipley, Trey Benson, Isaac Gurendo.
Can I chime in on this, Ivan?
Oh, yes, you can, Shane.
If you don't take
welcome to the show, Shane.
If you don't take Trey Benson here, you're fired.
Yeah, well, Trey Benson, obviously, if you heard the guys yesterday on the Patreon channel, I believe Trey Benson's your favorite running back. Shane, is he?
Oh, he would be. Is my audio okay? Sounds a little funky on my end.
No, it's fine.
All right, yeah, no, he would be far and away my number one running back, and the fact that he's still available here is a absolute home run moonshot for Ryan Poles.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to take yours and Ryan Cox's advice and go ahead and grab Benson here. And like I said, and I don't know if you agree, Shane, but adding another back to the backfield, I think is a must. Like I'm not knocking Roschon Johnson. I think everything that they said about his character and his work ethic is true. I just didn't see enough. I know it's year one, but it's like, okay, you could do a few good things. I like your aggressiveness. We already know what Khalil Herbert is. Pretty good at running the ball. Not great at catching it, but really bad at pass blocking. So I would like a back that could be more complete.
Well, you just got him.
Perfect. Trey Benson. All right, Trey Benson at 123. We move forward. 143. Let's see. I know I talked about not taking smaller receivers, but wanting to have some familiarity like I talked about before, I'm going to go ahead and grab Taj Washington out of USC. We have the quarterback, center.
Now you're back on track. That's another home run, back to back.
Okay, awesome.
You must be playing for the Dodgers and not the Cubs.
Oh, jeez, with this Dodgers and Cubs thing. We just got David Peralta, the wrong former Dodger. Come on, Cody, come back to us. But going back to the draft, that will round out our first draft of the night. Caleb Williams, number 1. We went ahead and traded down to 17 from 9 with Jacksonville, and also added 48 in the second round and 117 in the fourth. We used number 17 to grab Jackson Powers Johnson to solidify the middle of that offensive line. I then at 48 grabbed a position of need in Javon Bullard. PFF clearly thinks I jumped the gun, but hey, I think if you want to add, or if you have conviction on a guy, and it might not even be Bullard, they're going to go ahead and take him where they want to take him, regardless of what I think. But for this GM, I would have just jumped up and made sure I grabbed a young safety that I could have in position in case whoever is out in free agency isn't who I like, or just it never works out as far as negotiations are concerned. But that's just me. We then went ahead and grabbed fans pick Dolores, Brandon Dolores, big end out of Oregon. Then I went ahead and grabbed a wide receiver, Cornelius Johnson, at 111, a little bit of a bigger wide receiver. For Alex at 117, Cade Stover at tight end. Trey Benson, thank you, Shane. Thank you, Ryan, for telling me about this guy. We go ahead and add to our backfield a more complete back with Trey Benson, and then we round it out with Taj Washington, a wide receiver familiar with the quarterback that we just selected in Caleb Williams. So I think that's, for me, I like to think you could do that. You could have that opportunity. I would prefer Brendan Rice. That's just me. We just missed him out, 2 picks this past go around. I think he got taken at 73 and we had 75. But if he were to have fallen to 75, I probably was going to take Brendan Rice for the similar reasons why I would take Taj Washington. But Taj Washington, I just found him at a better spot than, 75? Just kind of lucked out that way. Wish it would have lucked out that way with Rice, but it didn't. Let's go ahead and jump into another one, shall we? New mock draft, Bears. We'll go all the way to 7 this time. Lock it in. These first couple we'll draft Caleb. We'll do that, and then I'll get into the crazy, wacky scenarios of drafting the number 1 pick. But one more of draft Caleb, or maybe a couple more of draft Caleb, and then we'll get into the crazy shit. So Caleb Williams, number 1. Let's look at these trades for 9. Cincinnati, 18. Dallas, 24. Tampa Bay, 26. Again, I think Dallas and Tampa Bay are just, I think anything past 20 is unrealistic, in my opinion. You'd have to be demanding a whole hell of a lot, and I don't think that teams are going to want to get fleeced by the Bears. I appreciate you, Corn. I'm loving them too. To be honest with you, I thought the first one was going to end up a little bit stale, but doing this, continuous mock and asking you guys about what your thoughts are really makes it go by, really makes it fun. But yeah, so sitting there at 18 is the Bengals. I mentioned before, a trade into 20s I just don't see as a reasonable thing. Bengals at 18. Let's make a trade. 18. Give me 49. Give me 116. I could ask for 80, but I feel like if you're a team that's going to be moving up and going to give up significant draft capital, you're going to want to hold on to a top 100 pick. So I could see 116 being the more reasonable ask, if you ask me. So offer the trade, they accept. Bengals are now at 9 and we are at 18. Fucking Powers Johnson goes right before us. Motherfuckers. I know it's fake, but it hurts every time I see him go. It hurts every time. All right.
Hey, can I chime in one more time?
Yeah, go ahead.
So in 2021, Chicago made a move from 20 to number 11 and gave up a future 1. So since he popping into the top 10, I think if you're dropping all the
1.
Oh yeah, you should all day get a future 1 back in return, plus their second rounder this year,
plus the second. So you would drop the third rounder, ask for the first
next year.
Yep. And I can see that making sense because you don't want, if you're a GM trading, you don't want to get your draft depleted by another team. So yeah, I could see a future 1, especially if the team believes in himself. So yeah. Future 1. Next go around, we're gonna ask that. We're gonna demand more. We're gonna demand more from Cincinnati or whoever's down there. All right, let's jump on the clock. I was just cutting tape with this guy for Draft Mob. for us getting prepared and everything like that. And I really, really like him. And we talked about adding more depth on the D line. You know, our tackles last year. Oh my gosh, we're our two young tackles. Can't believe I'm blanking on their names. Defensive tackle. Shane, help me out here.
What were you asking? Who we drafted last year?
Yeah, who are our two young defensive tackles? I don't know why I'm blanking on their names right now.
You had to put me on the spot like that.
I did.
I always refer to the chat.
Dexter,
Jervon and
yes,
Zach
Javon
Pickens.
Dexter, Zach Pickens.
Yep.
See, this is a concern because I think Dexter got better, but I forgot his name. Like that's how you know what I'm saying. Like that's kind of a concern to me. But I believe Jerzon Newton. I believe he is a very, very dangerous prospect at defensive tackle. That's just me.
Second best defensive tackle in the draft.
Yeah, it's
people don't agree with me, but that's fine.
I mean that's fine. I'm saying from what I've seen so far.
Yeah,
he's got the ability to get skinny in the gap. He's got the ability to throw guys off. He's very violent with his hands. His hips are very good, and he has a very high motor. Like he's running down guys 10, 15, 20 yards downfield. He's running with, he's going after it. I really like him, and that's who I'm going to grab right here, regardless of what Shane thinks. But
can you sort it? Can you sort it by position?
Can I? Let me see. Yeah.
Do they let you? Just go to defensive tackle. I'd be interested to see. They must have my guy number 2. My
Chris Jenkins?
No. Did he already go? Where are we at?
Let's see. Where was I? 20. Or no, 18.
He had to have won off. Yeah. Byron Murphy right there.
Murphy? Okay.
Yeah, he went 11.
Okay, I don't hate Byron Murphy. I've seen him play too. I think he's very good. I like what I've seen from this dude so far, and I'm gonna be cutting up Murphy's tape here soon. So I'm sure I'll be liking him as well.
When the combine comes around, you're gonna hear Newton get knocked, which a lot of people, I don't know how they're not crazy with it like we are, but he's gonna end up getting knocked for his arm length. You're gonna hear that it's combine.
Yeah.
But that's just one of those things. Fabulous player. I wouldn't be upset. I'm higher on Murphy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously intangibles come into play, when you're going through the combine. Like I said, we're gonna go through all these guys on Draft Mob. It's I'm sure there's gonna be back and forth debates nonstop. Regardless of who they draft here, I feel like if they could find a player that, if it's Powers Johnson on one side, on the offensive side of the ball, or it's Newton or it's Murphy on the other side of the ball that can control the middle, on the respective lines, it's just gonna change the way the Bears offense or defense plays. So if you could find a goon in the middle that can break shit up on defense and blow up plays, and if you could find that rock in the middle of your offensive line, I'm all for it. So right now we're gonna jump to the defensive side. Jerzon Newton, we drafted at 20. Number 49. Let's see. We had. Let me take out the defensive interior. Jonah Ellis, Braylon Trice, Austin Booker, Gabriel Murphy, Marshawn Nealon, Javon Solomon, Justin Mboigbe. Shane, he's one of your guys. How do you pronounce his name?
I mean, hopefully you don't have him in consideration here.
No, I don't. I was just going through names. It's like some of them I could nail, and like I think I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna fuck this one up, and then all of a sudden I nail it, and others, just not that great. 49. Let's see, wide receiver. Any wide receivers of interest here?
Well, their rankings are a little bit different from mine. I mean, to me, you clearly have to push Pearsall up. Can you sort it just by Wide receiver, you all right? You got it right there, just by wide receiver specifically.
Wait, I'm on N two. Sorry.
Yeah,
There we go. Okay, yeah. So it's
yeah. So there's definitely guys out there. I know Tez Walker is a guy that got a lot of play. Didn't have a real great Senior Bowl, dropping the football, but Roman Wilson's a fucking firecracker. There's a lot
yeah.
to like there, but he's very very slight, not a big not a big player at all. But Jermaine Burton is a guy that can make some plays for you downfield.
Hmm.
I was waiting for him to make a couple extra plays versus Michigan. Unfortunately, it didn't end up happening with all the bad snaps. But
Okay, so between Burton and Wilson, you said Burton could stretch the field.
yeah, they both can, but
They both can.
he's not as explosive as Wilson is.
Okay, because I'm not as unless there's injuries, I'm not as concerned with slight
Yep,
as far as you could, as long as you could stretch the field like a Deontay Smith, from Alabama. If you could stretch the field, I'm all for it. So
yep.
I would think I'm going to take Roman Wilson, 49.
There you go.
Add another playmaker. Here we sit at 75. Let's go and take a peek at the running backs now. Uh, I know you want Benson, so I could probably stay away from a little bit. I'm gonna probably pick somebody else as well, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay away from the running backs right now. Let's take a look. Cornerback, Cam Hart, Notre Dame.
You know my thoughts. I would definitely be looking. I would definitely be looking at an edge
Mm-hmm.
in this range too.
At about 75. Let's take a look at edge. Get Gabriel Murphy.
Yeah, you're down.
Boy,
I would not end up going here at this point.
yeah.
That's for sure.
Let's take a look. Offensive line, offensive tackle. Yeah, I'll put all the interior O line as well.
What number did you take, Wilson? Was it 53?
Uh, 40,
49?
49. Roman Wilson, 49. Yep, 49. I'm thinking we didn't get our center. So how do you feel about Van Pratt?
Van Pran from Georgia. Yeah, I think
Van
a lot. I
Pran.
think he's getting. If I'm being honest, the way that I look at it, I think he's getting overrated by a lot of
Mhm.
Bears fans at this
Because
point.
because he's like the second center listed. Is that like
Yeah,
what your thoughts are?
can you do it just by center? Can you bring those up
No, it only goes
or
interior lineman.
or interior offensive line? And
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, you got him right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Van Pran, I think he's gonna fall in line around round 4 on draft day. I know a lot of Bears fans have been pushing him up to around round 2. I don't see that there. But if I'm being honest, I think a lot of people are going to be very very upset because I don't think that the Bears have any intention of going into the season with a rookie center along with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
So you would expect a push at center during free
I,
agency then,
oh yeah, yep,
big time.
yep. They're going to be, they'll be looking at guys like Evan Brown from Seattle, who's obviously familiar with our new OC. Cushenberry as a guy that they're probably going to give a look to. I just think that they're going to look for somebody that's been through the wars a little bit, been in the foxholes to kind of help Caleb come along and kind of grow into the position. But it wouldn't prevent them from taking a guy like you said at this point. But I don't think it's probably as high on their draft list right now. I think they're definitely gonna hit it in free agency.
Focus on free agency. Okay, so with that being said, do you feel like an additional receiver here
I'd
would
have no
be?
problem. I would have no problem taking another wideout. Yeah, I mean,
You have Thrash, Rice, Cowing, Smith.
what do you have for who's left over at tight end? Also, You look for that move tight end.
Stover,
Over, yeah.
Sinnott.
Yeah, I'm a fan of him there too. But yeah, it's the edges didn't fall your way at all.
No.
I feel like um, I know there's a lot of people that are higher on Cowing, the wide receiver from Arizona. Oh, there he is, right there
Yeah.
at 106. Uh, so yeah, I mean, there's definitely some players there. Cade Stover obviously is a really good tight end. I'm not as high on Brendan Rice as I am. I like Taj Washington because I think he's more explosive,
Mm-hmm.
can make more plays for you downfield. Um, but yeah, so definitely.
So Cade Stover, like they were calling Cade Stover the poor man's. Oh my God, I'm blanking again. Change. Why am I blanking here?
Well,
Our guy at the beginning of the draft, their top tight end here.
oh,
You forgot to?
yeah, jeez, you're killing me, Brock. Yeah,
Bowers.
Brock
Brock
Bowers.
Bowers. There you go.
Yeah,
I was thinking.
he's
I
yeah.
thought Brock, but I was going to say something fucked up, and I didn't want to. So Brock Bowers. All right, Brock Bowers. How do you feel like they're comparable? I mean, obviously Bowers is better,
Well, he's
but
he would be the very very poor man's version of Brock Bowers in my book. The they're the tight end, which he's off. I know he's off the kid from Texas. Um,
mhm.
if that's going to be somebody, if the Bears don't go with a Bowers at like 9, say, I think that he could be in play for them. However, they depending on what happens with. And by the way, Justin Fields' dog has also unfollowed the Chicago Bears on
Oh,
Instagram.
it's legit. It's legit now.
Yeah,
What's his dog? His dog's was it like
Uno.
Uno?
Yeah,
I knew it was like a
yeah,
3-letter word. Uno. So
yeah.
Uno's not a fan anymore of the
No,
Bears.
they're both going to be making their pesos someplace else
Oh
next year.
yeah. Sorry, Uno. Sorry about that. Draw 4. Uh, okay, but back to this. Cade Stover, a very poor man's Brock Bowers. Let's jump off of the wide receivers. We still haven't drafted a safety. How do you feel about Cameron Kitchens?
Yeah, I mean he's all right. I'm a huge fan of Vaki
Mm-hmm.
from Utah because he is. When you hear Phil talk about just being a football player, that's who you're That's who you're describing when you're talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's he's going to be your return man day one. He's not a small dude either, as you see. So yeah, 6'2",
Yeah,
208.
6'2", 208.
Um,
That's something that I'd like if he could fill in the safety spot and return
yeah.
because that's
Oh
something
yeah.
that's a position that we've missed. We've
And
needed.
honestly, both safeties from Utah, I'm a fan of. Bishop has got to be on. Yeah, there he is right there, Cole Bishop.
Okay.
But Vaki is
6'2".
my kind of football player, and I feel like Vaki is going to be a guy that is very high on Ryan Poles. When they say we put a bear next to their name,
Mm-hmm.
that's to me who he is subscribing to right there with Vaki, and I think he's going to be a Flus type guy. Because when I go back to like Murphy, the defensive tackle,
Right.
the guy plays like you dump gasoline on him and let him on fire every down. That's how he plays. And when you hear about Flus and the way that he wants to build his program, he wants guys like that. Vaki is going to be a guy that not a lot of fans know too much about.
Mm-hmm.
If you can remember all the way back to when they drafted Mike Brown, there's a lot of people that were like, who the fuck is Mike Brown? And then the minute he got on the football field, you started to see jerseys pop up and everybody fell in
Mm-hmm.
love with him. That's who Vaki is for me.
And Mike Brown had that energy. That
Oh, yeah.
same energy that you're talking about. He had that every time he was on the football field, you had to look for Mike Brown if you were an offensive player because you were going to get knocked the fuck out. I've seen him. I saw him in high school, Shane.
Yep.
I was in the south end zone, like in that corner, tucked in the corner with one of
Yep.
my friends. They're playing the Lions, and I believe it was Pettigrew came over the middle.
Brandon
and
Pettigrew, yeah.
and Mike Brown lit him up. The sound that the hit made resonated throughout the entire stadium.
He got a flag on that play.
He got a flag on that play, but my God.
Oh yeah.
My God. I thought he went to a better place. Honestly, I thought he did.
Yep.
But Mike Brown don't play. So I could dig that. So let's go ahead and grab a safety because we're gonna need one. And was it Sion?
Yeah, Sion Vaki.
Sion Vaki. I'm Samoan. You know I'm down with the Samoans. We need more Samoans on the team. On the clock now at 111. Still got Jacob Cowing. We got Marshawn Lloyd as a running back. Baker, let's take a look at the running backs again.
Well, I heard you talk about I would not pass up Trey Benson again here, but I heard you talk about you want a guy that Estime is going to be your younger version of Deontay Foreman.
Yeah, and I'm just going to take Estime here because, I think that an Audric Estime is the perfect fit to mix in with a guy like Johnson and a guy like Herbert.
Yeah,
because you're gonna need that bruise, and you saw how well Foreman did. Foreman they didn't give him a lot of opportunities in short down yardage because fucking God knows why, but Deontay Foreman could blow a hole open when you need it be, and I think Audric Estime is the perfect guy to do that.
Right. We did shout you out, Chubbs. We called him Chubbs Newton when we drafted him. You missed it.
You're our boy, Chubbs. So, all right, now we got a running back. We're at 116. Let's take a look. Any edges here?
Can you go back to defensive tackle?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to let people know some guys that.
Yeah, I think we got beat up on the defensive tackle on the edge side this draft.
Sure did. Yep.
Let's see if we can focus on the other side of the ball. I got both interior offensive linemen and tackles.
Cooper Beebe is going to go a lot higher than they have these guys ranked. I'll tell you that.
You see, how's he look to you? 6'4", 335.
Yeah, he's going to be he's bigger than Cody Whitehair, but that's who he reminds me a lot of. I think he's going to be a second-round pick all day long.
Well, if you could get a guy that, and honestly, with all that we've talked about Cody Whitehair and how bad he's been, when he was healthy earlier in his career, I think
they screwed him up. In typical Chicago Bears fashion, they screwed him from Jump Street. They put him in a spot that they drafted him for, and then they were moving him every other year, and that's why I've seen people out there saying, "Oh, let's move Darnell Wright to left tackle," and I'm like, no, let's leave Darnell Wright where Darnell Wright is. Let's leave him alone.
I'm happy where what Darnell Wright is. I don't think we need to be fucking with any, and on top of it, Jenkins too. Once you move them to guard, he's a guard. Don't try to fuck with it anymore.
Just what I like about BB is he's going to give you coverage because if we're being honest, Nate Davis, there's question marks. With Tevin Jenkins, there's question marks. Just in terms of health more so on Tevin's side. But you're building a team. There's nothing wrong. I mean, who are you loving at offensive guard on the Chicago Bears beyond Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis? It's going to be
even Nate Davis. I have
right, exactly. Yeah. So to me, I'd be drafting Cooper Beebe here.
All right, let's do it. Like I said, depth is always a good thing, especially with the Bears. You've seen how many times guys have gone down, especially, Tevin Jenkins, as good as he is, Tevin Jenkins has gone down. So adding more depth to the offensive line is always a good thing in my eyes.
Right.
123. Let's jump to 123, see wide receivers. Taj Washington there. I will take Taj Washington there.
Yeah,
Unless,
I would have no problem with that at all.
yeah, I don't see him sticking around to 143. I mean, maybe, but I don't want to go ahead and lose a guy like that at the bottom. And with our last pick of the draft, Trey Benson will be coming home because he's.
Yeah, if he
Yeah,
was there in real life, you're
yeah, you're
that's
running
a
to the
home run
podium,
pick.
running to the podium. But honestly, that would be amazing if you could get an Estime and a
Oh
Trey
yeah,
Benson right there back in the same draft. So to round it out, before we go ahead and get into a little wacky stuff with the trading of the first pick, Caleb Williams #1. We traded 9 to 18, added a 49 and a 160 or 116, added Jerzon Newton, defensive lineman from Illinois.
Chubbs Newton.
Chubbs Newton, my bad. Chubbs Newton. Chubbs Newton from Illinois. Added playmaker Roman Wilson at 49. Sony Vaki, defense or safety at 75. And don't, like I said, don't pay attention to the grades. Like even my A's I question. You know what I'm saying? Don't really pay attention to the grades. If do your own research if you have to, but I feel like Shane said, they have their guys ranked where they want to rank them. We have, other guys ranked where we want to rank them. It's just a matter of opinion, I guess. But 111, we added Audric Estime, who I would be ecstatic if the Bears added. Cooper Beebe to help with depth on the offensive line. Taj Washington to help with playmaking abilities. And
Right.
Trey Benson to help out in the backfield. I'd imagine somebody get cut if they added two running backs in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I wouldn't be like, don't get me wrong. I could see a guy like a Herbert being cut.
Yeah, he's going into a contract year, and I mean, let's be honest. I did anything that Roshan Johnson did surprise you? I mean, they hailed him as a franchise pillar in terms of character. Well, that's all well and good. You need to make plays out on the football field. Running back is a very underrated need on this team.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like.
Yeah, I've seen too many times where Khalil Herbert is thrust into that third and long position, and he whiffs, and
Right.
Justin's running for his life, or whoever Bajent's running for his life. It's all the same. You just can't block.
Right.
He can't block. So let's do another one. We'll do. I want to do this one and probably one more, and then we'll wrap things up. On the clock, the Bears, like I promised, we'll trade this pick. Let's start the draft and see if we got any offers. Yeah, 10 trade offers, Shane. New England.
I'm taking the closest one, number one that there is, but that's
the closest to number one, right? All right, so number 3 with the Pats, right? It'd be the closest one. You got 7, 6, 5, and 4 as well in the top 10. And then everybody else is sitting outside. So let's go with 3 because I do want the best available with the most. We were talking about this last time, Shane. What's realistic? You know what I'm saying? What's realistic of a trade? We were talking about Washington last time, but also with the Pats. Yeah. From 3 to 1, what is realistic? I started out because I believe in Caleb. I started out with 5 last week. I'm like, all right, if you really want this, I believe it was your first 3 and your next 2. Or we could work it out as your first 2 and then one later on. You keep 68 and we say a 1 and a 3. Just spitballing on how you could work out a scenario. What would your perfect scenario be asking the asking price for a team that wants to trade up from 3 to 1 or 2 to 1?
I would take out the 104 and I'd go down to select player if I'm going with New England. And I would just, not that I'm in love with the player, but I think we need depth there. I would add somebody like Christian Barrymore to the deal, get a young defensive lineman in that. and take their first and second this year and their first and second next year along with Barrymore and see where it goes. And I'd take out the 104.
Okay. Barrymore. Christian Barrymore, take out the 4. And you said these two, right? These 4 picks plus Christian Barrymore
First and second and this year and first, second next year and Christian Barrymore
for number 1.
to move down 2 slots. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to force the trade because obviously the simulator is not going to allow it. But this, honestly, this is about what we were at last mock draft as well. About 4 picks, 4 or 5 picks, or if you're going to add a player, it better be a starter that's ready. That we covet, and you better have 4 more picks ready and waiting for us. And now a lot of people think that that's it's maybe over the top, but if you believe in moving up to number 1 to get whoever the fuck it may be, Caleb Williams, whoever they think it may be,
right?
Aren't you going to pull that trigger, knowing that the 2 teams that we've been talking about the most, Washington and possibly New England, that don't have quarterbacks, would want to find their guy and move heaven and earth to get their guy?
Right. Yeah. You have to, and then people can say that it's an over. Listen, I will be shocked if the Chicago Bears trade down from number 1. Shocked. I know there's a lot of Justin Fields fanboys out there that don't want to accept the fact and want to blame. Absolutely. Is Justin a part of the problem? Yeah, he is. Did the Chicago Bears do him any favors? No, they didn't. But it is what it is. Phil said it 1,000 times. You've been given the golden ticket. Imagine if you were slotted at number 2 this year, what we'd be talking about. That's usually the Chicago Bears way. You're at 1. Ivan, you were on live with us last year when we secured the number 1 pick last year. We're losing our minds.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened again. And they fully, listen, this is going to happen right around the combine. I don't think it's any breaking news or anybody that's saying that they got sources or people that think they have awesome shows and get 2 views. I don't care who the fuck you are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, how it happens. Yeah.
It's how it happens. And it's, seeing as how the Bears have come out and like Kevin Warren's been more vocal. I don't see how making a decision or having some one-off interview be any point to say, hey, look they're doing this, they're going to do that.
Right.
It doesn't tell anything about what their moves are going to be. I just feel like people are just so they want what they want so bad that they're going to see or hear whatever they want to hear.
Exactly. And you can't. I think it's funny when people that are saying that that are pro Justin, where their theory or their end game falls apart, is when they're saying that Justin has improved, but the coaching staff sucks. Well, who helped him improve? Who coached him up to improve him the last 2 years? That coaching staff that you're trashing. Both things can be true. Justin needs to play better. Guess what? His dropbacks are pedestrian at best. Release, pedestrian at best. Processing speed isn't up to par. Those 3 things right there make Caleb Williams a better passing, more developed quarterback day 1 as a rookie over Justin Fields. Is he as fast? Is he as athletic? No, that's fine. I don't give a shit about that. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Is he athletic enough? Is he fast enough? Yes, he is. And he's also a better passer today than Justin Fields is. It's not close.
That's not even close. And you have to, like I said, you have to look at the tape and look at the good and the bad if you want. That's what we do. You guys are going to get ready to look at Notre Dame here in a little bit. That was a very bad game for Caleb. But
very bad half. First half. Yeah.
If you look at, like you said, if you look at his throws, his release, how he keeps himself balanced, how he keeps his feet under him, how he finishes his throws, like those are all things that are way more crisp and developed than what Justin Fields has shown us. And I just don't see why why can't Justin be a talented guy who has potential but isn't a great quarterback? You know what I'm saying? Why can't that be the truth? While at the same time saying, you know what, Justin can probably help somebody out somewhere else, right? So a team that fits his needs better. And I just don't think that being a running football team right now with the Chicago Bears is the best thing for the Chicago Bears. I think Pittsburgh, I think Baltimore, those types of style of teams I could see Justin going to because they want to be a, in your face, defense first, run the ball, get nasty. That's what quite honestly, that's what the AFC North is. In your face, running the football. Whoever has the toughest defense is probably going to end up winning the game. But regardless of that, I feel like Justin Fields, good kid, probably a great leader, a good role model.
No doubt.
But if you're not performing on the field, none of that matters in the end.
Exactly. Ivan, my mic drop with everybody is that wants to say surround him with more talent. Oh, get him Marvin Harrison Jr. He had all of those guys. He was surrounded by top flight talent at Ohio State. And the flaws that we saw at Ohio State are still prevalent today. So what happens next year when you give him Marvin Harrison Jr. and Marvin Harrison has 600 yards and 2 touchdowns as a rookie? Then the excuse is, oh, well, he's a rookie. You got to give him more. Come on. No, it's staring you straight in the face. We're all Justin Fields fans. The timing of all of this and you holding the golden ticket, that's the separator. Now, Phil doesn't agree with me. I've maintained that if I'm not taking Caleb, then I'm going to buy time by trading down and staying with Justin right now. I have a couple other options. Phil doesn't agree with that, and that's fine. We don't agree on everything very often anyway, when it comes to big decisions like that, and that's fine. He's a good quarterback. I have a prospect that's staring me in the face that I feel is better. End of story.
If Ryan Poles has a conviction on Caleb Williams, beautiful. But if he has a conviction on Justin, I said it before, I'm going to grit my fucking teeth, right? But I'm not going to go into the season like dog walking Justin throughout. I've said the truth about what Justin is right here, right now. Can Shane Waldron change him? Can he become better? Maybe. But you're also running the risk of he doesn't become that, and now you don't have a quarterback, and now you have to pay Justin Fields. You're not if he doesn't eclipse 3,000 yards passing, Shane, this season, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, and
thank you, Kerry.
I've had people up in my DMs, text messages, and then everybody's like, oh, let's wait for Arch Manning. Let's wait for 2026. No,
let's wait for Shedeur Sanders.
No. Let's wait until April 26th, whatever it is, and draft Caleb Williams. That's your way. Then you have to develop him. Then you have to hope that the Bears don't do Chicago Bears type things. And again, another question that can be asked. Everybody that's saying trade down, let Ryan Poles cook, let him do his job. We believe in Ryan Poles to build this team with all these extra assets. Well, what if Ryan Poles decides to stay at 1 and draft Caleb Williams? Now you don't believe in him because he didn't do what you wanted?
Mm-hmm.
That's the pathetic argument that mouth-breathing idiots are making.
Yeah, and it's crazy because let's say and we're going to trade this pick right here, right now, but let's say he does make a trade, right, Shane?
Yeah.
I'm not, like I said, I'm going to grit my teeth and be fucking upset, but I'm not losing faith in what Ryan Poles can do with the draft picks. I'm just upset because I think Ryan Poles made a huge mistake at getting the leader or getting the player that could lead his team to the promised land.
Right.
Like that's it's going to hurt. Can we do it another way? Yes. But I think that what Chicago is craving is that superstar guy. And I think Caleb Williams has all of that. Like he has that aura around him that he can be the guy that could be the face of the franchise, be the face of the city.
Right.
But we'll see. So
Ivan, if he wins
go
here,
ahead.
he's second in line.
Mhm.
When they're talking about Chicago athletes, I'm talking all time.
Yeah,
If Caleb Williams wins here, it starts with MJ and then it goes to Caleb Williams.
100%.
Same thing would have been true with Justin Fields. It's just the way that it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we said this before. If Justin was able to win, he already had the hearts of the fans. If he was able to win here, then I've seen somebody I think it was a video on YouTube, like Justin's like legendary status or some shit. Like I'm like legendary.
Yeah.
I'm like legendary. Like we've become blinded and so
Right.
desperate as a fan base that we're talking about flashes in the pan and
Legendary. dude.
yeah, and a good running season as a quarterback, legendary. Like that's
He had 5 touchdown passes after he got hurt in the Minnesota game. 5 the rest of the year. 5. I saw this, I think it was on CHGO. Ryan Cox had shared it with us. Ivan, who was the last Chicago Bears wide receiver to catch a touchdown pass other than DJ Moore?
I'm gonna guess here. Is it St. Brown?
No.
No. Let me see. Simba Webster?
No. And I'll give you a hint. And this is how pathetic it is.
Yeah.
It happened in week 2.
Oh my God.
And he's not a Bear anymore.
Is it Claypool?
We traded him. Claypool.
James Hunter got it. Claypool. It's Claypool. Jeez, Claypool?
Yeah.
The last one?
That's the last one. Last wide receiver other than DJ.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good enough. It's not good enough all around.
All around. Both things can be true. The Bears need to add more talent, and the quarterback play needs to be better. Both things can be true.
100%. So Caleb Shane goes number 1 to the Patriots, followed by Drake May. Do you have the mindset of if we have number 3, like let's say this works out, do you see Jaden Daniels being in play?
Nope.
Or do you see them just sticking with Justin?
Not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, 34% of Jaden Daniels' 50 touchdowns came against Georgia State, Army, and there's another team in there that I'm forgetting. Like, I don't know if it's like Louisiana Monroe or something like that. But
right.
No, I mean, Jaden Daniels is almost the same age as Justin Fields is right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's an older prospect, and if you want to worry about red flags, go talk to some of his teammates at Arizona State that recorded videos when he left, telling him to get the fuck out of here. You think that matters? You want to rip Caleb Williams apart for things that are unfounded? This guy's stuff is out there on social media from teammates. So, I mean, if that's the case, listen, if you stick at 3, it's an easy pick. You're taking Marvin Harrison.
Right.
Or are you mortgaging the pick again for more? And I would not be against that at all, because Marvin Harrison is clearly my number 1 wide receiver. But this is also a very deep wide receiver class.
Right.
I feel like, and I don't have a huge window between Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors. Neighbors is my number 2. If I can sell these picks off to teams desperate to come up and get Jaden Daniels, or let's be honest, this is the way that you have to be a fucking assassin when you're talking about these guys. Now, what I'm doing, if I'm the Bears GM and I'm on the clock at number 3, I'm saying to Arizona, you give me number 4, and what do they have, number 27, to move up 1 spot if you want your wide receiver. That's what I say to them. And then when I get to number 4, I'm selling it again to the next team that wants Jaden Daniels.
And I agree with this. And I agree with it, because if you're going to go this route and you're going to sell the number 1 pick off, and we're talking about accumulating picks, why would you settle for 1 wide receiver who might not change anything for you, especially if your quarterback doesn't play up to par? So I would be totally in agreement with trading down again. here. Yeah, I know you had mentioned Arizona. Uh, I could see Arizona not wanting to move two picks or not wanting to move that second first rounder. But if they do, I mean, it'll
Depends
be
on
great
how
for.
much. Depends on how much they want Marvin Harrison. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Uh, let's go ahead and trade with not Minnesota. Let's see Tennessee at 7 or New York at 6. I would say the Giants would want to jump up and probably grab a quarterback.
I would say that. And then, so this is how it would get. If they're coming up for Jaden Daniels, then you're looking Marvin Harrison at number 4 to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody keeps on putting a wide receiver for the Chargers. I just don't see Jim Harbaugh being connected to a wide receiver that high. But that's just me. And I mean, then at 6, you I think I have Joe all over Fashanu in my
Yeah,
rankings.
yeah,
Phil has Fashanu ahead of Alt, so we're flip flopped on that. But yeah, it's definitely a very, very interesting debate.
yeah. It's says Zach. I don't hate on people. If you don't like Caleb, that's fine. Just it's totally fine. But if you're gonna tear him down and make like state, and I'm not saying you are, but if people
Yeah,
that make these crazy fucking statements about him that have no clue about what the hell's going on with him or his camp, call him all types of names, call him immature, call him all that. And
right.
yeah, you can be immature as a young man, but I just feel like wouldn't we have heard a lot more from his teammates? What if we have heard a lot more of this throughout the season? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't
Exactly.
it be more prevalent instead of being, oh, as soon as the draft comes along, all the bad shit about Caleb Williams comes out? Like, where was all this shit for 4 years? Or not 3 or 4 years, but like 2 or 3 years
Right.
when he was coming up. Where was all that?
Yeah, and what did Brendan Rice say at the Senior Bowl about it? Have fun losing your job if you pass on him. I know everybody wanted to say after the bowl game that he didn't play in when they were saying now we're a team.
Mm-hmm.
That myth has already been debunked because they were saying that was all about Caleb. No, it wasn't. Didn't have anything to do with Caleb. His teammates loved him. Ask Albert Breer about that, who's very close with multiple people on USC staff. He's beloved by the coaches. Oh, yeah, you want to know what? They hated him at USC because you know what? Now that they hired the guy in Washington to be the OC, Cliff Kingsbury, he's going to Washington because Cliff Kingsbury. You see what I'm saying? They're playing both sides of the fence. Everybody at USC hated the kid, but he's going to
Mm-hmm.
Washington now because
Right.
Kingsbury's there. So that
Exactly.
fits their narrative. Everybody's making things up. Something changes and they move the goalpost to fit their narrative. It's hilarious at this point.
It's become frustrating, and I know a lot of people are like pretty much over with the conversation. But let's finish this trade right here.
Yep.
This probably be our last one because I'm got to go to the bathroom here soon. We got okay, so 6 for the Giants,
You're
right?
getting a future one no matter what.
Getting a 1.
Yes,
I would
39.
say 39, 140.
I'm
Especially if they want to, if you know that they're going, if they want the quarterback.
yeah, I mean you can take 10. I would try 108 because that's a high 4th round pick.
Let's see.
But they're only at 3%. If you take that out,
Yeah,
does it raise it at all?
to 14.
Yeah, but I mean that's
Let's see. They were down with the 6 and the 1. But I would want.
well then throw in a few. You got so you're already in the second round with the trade down from 1. So throw in a future second and see where that moves it to. Takes it down
About 50.
51.
Let's
Yep.
see. They did not accept.
Yeah, so you can put in a 3 and like a 5 next year. Yeah.
I'll take the pick this year if that's the case. 108.
Yep.
All right, there
All
we
right,
go.
so now you're looking at 3 first rounders next year, and
Mhm.
what, 3 second rounders, or no, 4 second rounders next year in
Right,
2025, because you already
right,
have yours and Carolinas, and now you have Arizona's and the Giants.
right. So we've maximized. If we got, like I said, if they go this route, this is. I'm like I said, I'm going to try to maximize as much as we can, and
Mhm.
people might be like, "No, Marvin Harrison Jr.," which they took for New York, but I would be arguing, "Hey, why go ahead and jump at Marvin Harrison Jr. when you could go ahead and get quality wide receivers like you'd mentioned before, right around here? Malik Neighbors, who I would go after, Brock Bowers,
Right.
who I would go after, Roma Dunze, who I would go after. Uh, Joe Alt got taken. I would go with a guy
Fashanu.
like Fashanu
Well,
right
so
here.
right, and then this is where the way that you'd have to look at it, because if you don't take Fashanu right now,
Hmm.
Ivan, he's coming off the board at 7.
Oh, no doubt,
Yeah. So
no doubt.
you're dropping, your drop off at tackle is a lot more significant. And now you're still cooking with gas. You can go with Roma Dunze.
Roma Dunze, we got Roma Dunze. Now we drop back to 34. Uh, let's see, wide receiver, Adonai Mitchell, Keon Coleman.
I'm not as high on Keon Coleman
No.
as some people are. Yeah, my wide receiver 4 far and away is Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU.
You know what, Shane? Give me 2 seconds. I got to run to the bathroom real
Yeah.
quick.
Yep, go ahead. I will take over, but put in the chat who you guys are looking at, or what position that you're looking at here at number 34. And we'll kind of see where we go. I know Chop Robinson obviously is still up there. I'm more of an Adisa Isaac guy over Chop, and you see, according to this, Adisa Isaac actually went before him, pick 33 to the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, and Zach, you got a great point there. I mean, Jaden Daniels is Justin Fields. I mean, essentially, I think there's a ton of development there that is needed, but we'll see how it goes. And I mean, it's as crazy as this sounds, Ivan, and I know you're probably not about it, and I know maybe I might get grilled in the chat. There's a scenario where if I was the GM, I would have no problem signing Cousins to a veteran deal and drafting JJ McCarthy in a trade down scenario to sit, because he's only 20 years old. You sit him for a year, you sit him for 2, while you can be in contention with a veteran quarterback. I don't love that scenario, but I like it a lot better than drafting Jaden Daniels at number 1 or number 2 or number 3.
Well, I can agree with that, Shane, especially if we're trading out of one. You go ahead and you get a veteran like a Kirk Cousins. You know he can throw the football. Is he going to lead you to the Super Bowl? No. Can he lead you to the
Nope.
playoffs? Probably. He
Yeah,
could probably get to the playoffs, but like you'd mentioned before, now you get a quarterback who sits, watches a guy who's been a pro,
right.
and then you could develop a young guy waiting in the wings. That would be, I think that'd be the best case scenario, especially if the Bears went this route.
Right.
For me, I'm going to go after Darius Robinson
Yeah.
right here.
I would have him ahead of Chop, that's for sure. And
I had a chop.
I have the guy that went number 33, his teammate, Chop Robinson's teammate, Adisa
Yeah,
Isaac. I have
yeah,
him higher than Chop Robinson in my rankings.
really.
Yep.
What do you feel like is the fatal flaw?
With Chop, well, his name fits what you see on tape. He takes a lot of wasted choppy steps, and you're not going anywhere. When you're trying to get after the quarterback, it's just go, get there, make up space, and just watch his feet. It's like a typewriter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're not he makes a lot of wasted movement where he goes nowhere. And that, to me,
Right.
is an issue. Just what's available on the interior of the offensive line here. I know you can
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
take
we
what
could
you want. I just wanted to see who ended up dropping.
see.
The offensive line, though.
Offensive line,
Yeah.
interior O line. Frazier, Hayes, Christian Mahoney,
Mahogany. Yeah,
Mahogany.
yeah. Christian Haynes is a excellent player. Phil and I ended up taking him in a. But I'll tell you, a guy that I absolutely love. If you go back to defensive tackle,
Hmm.
that he's not a perfect fit for Flus, but I look at the way that Philly kind of did their offensive or their defensive line. Tavondre Sweat can make your defensive lineman better and clear the path for your fucking linebackers to eat.
I really like Tavondre Sweat. I know
Yep.
I like Murphy, but I really like Tavondre Sweat a little bit later than 34, obviously. But I feel like if the Bears are sitting there,
Yep.
third or fourth round, and he's
Oh,
available, I
he's
would.
going round
Yeah,
two, I think, all
you
day.
think? Oh, you think he's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be one of those steals,
Yep.
those picks that go right away?
Yep. And Dwayne Carter is the next guy. If you scroll down just a bit from Duke, the
Uh-huh.
guy is he is a fucking animal. Those would be the two guys that I'd be looking there. And I know Tavondre Sweat is a massive human. I think he's like 6'4", maybe 336.
Yep,
But
6'4",
well, they have
362.
him at 362. I don't think that's probably a little bit heavy. But
Maybe in the off
oh
season weight,
man,
362.
you talking about letting your linebackers eat and freeing up the sweat that we already have, making things easier for Jervon Dexter and Zach Pickens. That guy he's an immovable object.
Oh no, like you're preaching to the choir, Shane. Like I've seen him
Yep.
play a few times for Texas, and he is exactly that. He's
Yep.
a big immovable object. See it white. We went through whiteouts at 34. See the tackles. Any tackles you interested in?
Fontenot, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
is going. I think he's gonna in real life he's gonna be gone by
Yeah.
then. So that would be a guy that I would be definitely interested in. But I know me, and I would probably have a real tough time. What do you have? So you have pick 34, and when's your next pick?
34,
75.
75. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know what we did in free agency, so that's the
All right.
hard part. I just know me. I would have a tough time passing on Tavondre Sweat because I think he can. I think when you talk about multipliers,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a guy that makes everybody on the defensive line better, and he's going to make your linebackers better. He's going to make your secondary better. But
Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm because I'm a fan as well. I like I said, I think this at 34, second pick in the second round, that might be a bit high for me. But if like we're talking later
yeah,
into the top of the third, that's where I would say, yeah, he's definitely would be on my radar.
yeah.
Definitely, I'm totally down with that pick. He is a monster in the middle. Let's go ahead and jump to the wide receivers again. Looks like there was a run on them. Yeah, they got TJ Tampa went. Adonai Mitchell went two picks after we drafted Sweat.
Yeah. I would
Jalen Polk went after that.
right.
Yeah.
Now you could look at the interior and see if there's any guys left over on the interior of the line, of the offensive line. Van Pran is there. Mahogany was actually, I believe, a big time wrestler, and that's something that they do love to see.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of hand action. We honestly, I wouldn't be if this was a situation. I wouldn't be surprised if they looked again at tackle
Yeah.
or end, just because I was talking about that rotation that they talk about so much. So sometimes I don't want to see Montez Sweat come out, but understanding that you need fresh
Right.
bodies and fresh bodies that can make plays. Tired players usually make mistakes. I could understand the rotation, so I wouldn't be shocked if they went ahead and tried that. Let's check
The
out.
kid the kid from Duke, he was gone, the defensive tackle.
No, he was there, I believe. Yeah, Dwayne Carter,
Oh my God. I know you're
6'3".
doubling up, but yeah, no, I get he's he's a fucking animal. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Vaki again because, like I said, I want to make sure I have a safety.
Yep.
So I'll take Vaki at 75. That leaves us at 108. He's gone. So
Yep.
yeah, he went right. Few picks, about 6 picks before us. Let's go over the interior O line. Cooper Beebe still there. But for me, I would probably go after Estime.
Yeah, there you go.
Go after Estime and go back to the interior O line. And Cooper Beebe will be sitting right there.
Yeah. But anyways, man, I got to bounce. I didn't realize it was so late, but I'm glad I stopped and we could chop it up a little bit. We only have about 3,500 more of these mock drafts to go before go time. So we'll see how it is. But
we'll be doing a million more, I'm sure.
Absolutely. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
For those of you that want to show up.
Yeah, we'll be there. I'll be there.
I'll be watching.
Yeah, see ya.
Thanks, Shane. All right, guys. Smartest man, Shane Marsall. Love that he had the time to jump in and talk some ball. Let's wrap up with this. So 123 and 143 are our last 2 picks. Just picked up Estime. Let's go ahead. Take a peek at the cornerbacks. Kalen King. Nobody really stands out for me. Wouldn't draft a quarterback there. Tight ends. We got wide receiver. Well, I'll do this. We'll end it with 2 playmakers. We'll end it with Taj Washington. And let's look for... And Benson will be there again. Obviously, like we said before, these mock drafts, these simulators, they have players ranked where probably they shouldn't be ranked, or maybe they're ranked here right now and they're going to jump up, post combine. So it is what it is. But if we're talking about grabbing, some help at running back, I wouldn't be down that there be competition there as well. It's a later pick. We traded for it. I'll take the Trey Benson right here. And that'll wrap up the draft, I believe. Or do we have one more? Oh, there we go. All right. So looking back at it, traded for Barmore. First overall pick. We got the 3rd. We got the 31st or 34th, excuse me. We got a first next year, a second next year. Then we traded back down again from 3 to 6. Got 108 in the 4th round. Got a first next year and got a 3rd next year. So 2 firsts, a second, and a 3rd, all added for trade while trading down. In this draft, we went and took Fasanu at 6. Took Roma Dunze at 9. Took Trevondre Sweat, defensive interior, at 34. Sony Vaki, we took him at safety. Aldrich Estime took at 108, running back. Cooper Beebe, solidify some offensive depth on the line. Taj Washington, familiar with our speed playmaker. And then Trey Benson to round out the draft. This has been fun. Like I said, shits and gigs. Like I love, these hypotheticals will be, very true. Trust me. It's these are, we stuck with these straightforward drafts a little bit earlier in the show. These are the more, crazy scenarios that I wanted to kind of throw out there to you guys. I appreciate it, man. I hope you guys have had fun with these mock drafts. Or like Shane said, there's going to be another 2,000 of them, I'm sure, as we continue on this offseason. I don't think that the Bears are going to trade out of 1, but I do really believe that 9 is a possibility and can, potentially get us what we want while maintaining that number 1 overall pick. Again, I appreciate you guys. So glad to be here with you. We're talking football. It's been a great show. Before we get out of here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Make sure you become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com. Until next week, folks, be ready. Keep it at 100 on Wednesday. I don't believe there's a Cars Keys this week. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to double check. But keep it at 100 this Wednesday. And, of course, be on the lookout for DDP's breakdowns and draft mob coming up very, very soon. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I'm Ivan Vargas. Peace.